Limits. Anytime we talk about limits, we're supposed to remember the theorems for limits. We have problem on the board. This is the limit which approaches 1 for this polynomial. How are we supposed to look at this polynomial? You're supposed to remember that the limit of the sums is the sum of the limits. The limit of the differences is the difference of the limits. When we have limit of the product, we have product of the limits. When we have limit of the quotient, we have quotient of the limits. What I mean by that? Let's take a look. We have limit of the sum and difference. We can rewrite this as limit x approaches to 1, and I'm going to have x squared plus limit x approaches to 1 of 3x minus limit x approaches to 1 for 6. As I said, limit of the sum or difference is the sum or difference of the limits. Now, if you want to go further, you're supposed to realize that this is product. We said that the limit of the product is the product of the limits. What I mean by that? We can go further than that. Let's copy everything, whatever we are not going to use at this moment. I have limit x to the second power with x approaching to 1 plus, and we have product. We said that the limit of the product is the product of the limits. So I'm going to have limit of 3x approaches 1 times the limit x approaches 1 of x minus, I copy down, limit of 6x approaches 1. Next, we're supposed to simply replace x by whatever x is approaching to. So in this case, every single x I have to replace by 1, and I'm going to ignore the limit. So I have 1 to the second power plus limit of the constant is equal constant. That's why I'm going to write 3. And this x has to be replaced by 1 minus limit of constant is equal constant. That's why this is 6. My answer is going to be 1 plus 3 minus 6. 1 plus 3 is equal 4 minus 6. This is equal negative 2. This is the solution to my problem. But we don't use this kind of notation when we solve limits. There is much shorter way to do it, but I just explain you what is behind of everything, whatever I'm going to do right now. So we have again limit with x approaching to 1, and I have x squared plus 3x minus 6. Anytime you will calculate the limit of the polynomial and your x is going to approach the real number, or let's say the variable, anything whatever is different than infinity, you're supposed to simply replace that value instead of x's. So you are going to have 1 squared plus 3 times 1 minus 6. We have 1 plus 3 minus 6. 1 plus 3 is 4 minus 6 is equal negative 2. As you can see, we got exactly the same answer, and the way is much shorter. So with understanding what is behind of whatever I have done, we are going to use this technique in order to get answer very quick. So this is the solution to my problem. This time we're supposed to find the limit of the cube root of the polynomial with x approaching to -1. How are we supposed to look at this problem? We're supposed to use the theory for the limit, which says that the limit of the, in this case, cube root of the polynomial is equal to the cube root of the limit of that polynomial. So I have cube root limit x goes to -1, and I have x cubed minus 2x squared plus x plus 10. Next, I'm supposed to replace every single x by -1, and I'm going to have cube root of -1 to the third power minus 2 -1 to the second power plus -1 plus 10. Cube root equals -1 to the third power is -1 minus 2, 1 to the second power is equal 1, positive times negative is negative, plus 10. This is cube root of -1, -2, -1 plus 10. -1 and -2 is -3, -1 is -4, plus 10 is 6. So answer is cube root of 6. This is the solution to my problem.